As the PI on Tasso's lead clinical trial, I'm a strong proponent for this promising company. They've built a device that makes blood draws more convenient and less painful, particularly for patients who experience difficulty with traditional venous phlebotomy. Their premier product allows patients to reproducibly draw their own blood anywhere at any time. I think Tasso is poised to become a leader in the democratization of laboratory testing, and that bringing greater access to crucial lab tests for patients is the next wave of healthcare. Please meet Tasso.
Blood draws are a terrible experience. Think about the process of blood collection. Do you like the needle? Now think about the inconvenience of driving to the clinic, probably in traffic, sitting in the waiting room, and everything surrounding the blood draw. We created one device that replaces all of those things. We created the Hemolink. The Hemolink is virtually painless. Just put it anywhere on your arm. Press the big red button to start. Then do anything else. The Hemolink draws your blood in the background. It is so subtle, you can literally finish sending an email while the Hemolink collects your blood. And after 2 minutes, when the draw is done, remove the tube and send it to the lab. The Hemolink is the result of 4 years of development sponsored by DARPA and has 6 patents that protect the technology. We have an issued patent around our approach to microfluidics that allows the Hemolink to be simple, reliable, and cost-effective. We call it suspended microfluidics. When you press that button, 4 small needles come out of the device to make a puncture and are automatically retracted and locked in the device for safety. A small vacuum is generated to enhance the blood collection process. Those microchannels direct the blood into a standard tube that can be used by any clinical lab for testing. The Hemolink is truly a platform technology. It can be used for any blood collection needs, regardless of the sample type required. The Hemolink combines simple self-use, shipping to a lab, and high-quality diagnostics on standard lab platforms. This allows the Hemolink to give you the tests you need with a device you'll actually want to use. The market for clinical testing is huge. 4,000 diagnostic tests are run approximately 7 billion times per year. And we'll start by selling to labs. Labs will be able to use the Hemolink to extend the reach of their testing services by enabling blood collection without the overhead of a draw station. As we continue to offer more and more tests paired with our device, we'll have access to an increasing amount of this market. And at scale, we will be an integral part of this huge market opportunity. But our latent market opportunity is driven by convenience. Think about remote access to DNA testing. The saliva tube changed the game. Now imagine what's possible when we're able to provide that simple access to something as information-rich as blood. Not only will patients and doctors be able to have access to the data they need when they need it, but we will also start to access health information that wasn't even possible before. My co-founder Erwin and I have PhDs in biomedical engineering. We worked for years developing new diagnostic technologies using blood biomarkers. And we discovered that the blood collection process was so bad that it was limiting essential tests from being used. We started out in our living room, and since then we've grown to have an inspired team of engineers, biologists, and clinicians who are helping us make our vision of a better blood draw a reality. In the past 4 years, we have raised $7 million in non-dilutive funding, working with leading scientific and research organizations. We have developed a manufacturable working device. And we've collected data using that device on over 700 subjects for 10 different clinical tests. But in just the past 3 months, we have signed a strategic partnership for commercial use of our device next year. We have started a project with Merck to evaluate use in clinical trials. At Wake Forest, we've demonstrated the utility of our device in a pediatric population. We've started a new $6 million contract with a branch of the Department of Defense. And we have engaged with Cedars-Sinai to provide clinical solutions for their fertility and transplant patients. Tasso's policy with the FDA is to approach them early and often. We are actively in the process of pursuing clearance as a Class II medical device. We set out with the ambitious goal of accomplishing a multi-site clinical trial in 4 locations, including at UCLA and here at Cedars-Sinai. We just finished our first clinical trial, and the data looks amazing. We recruited over 200 subjects and demonstrated that the blood we collect is as good as the gold standard for measuring lipids. For each test, the correlation coefficient was above 0.99, and the bias was less than 2%, all metrics that line up with the clinical requirements set forth by the FDA. We were also able to demonstrate that patients feel less pain and vastly prefer the Hemolink compared to other methods. We're finishing up the report and plan to submit to the FDA in the next 2 weeks. Tasso is revolutionizing medicine by giving patients access to the tests they need when they need them. We're excited by how this accelerator has helped us move the proverbial needle. Come stop by our booth after and watch me demo the device. Thank you.